Okay, here we go. Let's get ready to write up some estimates here. Okay. All right, let's check it out. We're going to be writing up some estimates here. Make sure we're in good shape. Well, this thing's probably going to give me a whole mess of issues, guys, if you're tuning in. All right, awesome. All right, we're going to be writing some estimates. Nice to see a couple names popping in here. I'm going to be running this thing for a while, folks. So come in, grab a seat. Be putting on some decent little Xactimate training. Remember to share this wherever. I'm going to be going through some scoping and estimating. Got a little bit of a late start today. All right, let's make sure we've got everything here. Okay. First things first. All right, here we go. This is the home that we're going to be working on in this training. So I'm going to go through these photos, just give you a general idea of what we're looking at here, what type of claim this is, and then we're going to start the photo labeling process here. So obviously, this is our home right here. So let's dig in. All right, so this particular claim, this one is a water loss. It's a roof leak. This is actually, I'm the second adjuster to go out there. The first adjuster checked out the roof, and apparently the roof was in really bad shape. It was leaking all over the place there, but the first adjuster couldn't get inside. So I was given the task to get inside and get everything scoped out there. So there's, I can tell you right now, there's a lot of kind of weird things about this claim that we're going to kind of work through and just write an estimate for and really just try to make this thing go away. So here we go. This is your second floor. All right, this is your hallway. We've obviously got some water damage on the hallway. We got some, looks like some fungal growth. Could be some mold growth going on the ceiling. I'm not really too worried about that at this point. It really doesn't matter to me as the field adjuster on this assignment because I'm writing for water damage. I'm not messing around with any mold. So I'm going to be replacing what's water damage, which is going to address that in the same process. So you got some more water damage here and there. You got a moisture meter on there showing a little bit of water. Now another company got in there first to do some water mitigation, kind of dry everything out. It was not a professional company like Servpro, Service Master, one of these professional restoration companies that went in there. This was a contractor, so things are a little bit not typical. All right, so we've got some trim was removed during mitigation. A little bit of a blurry shot right there, so we just go ahead and get rid of that. We don't want blurry shots. And there we go. There's a clean one. Now, part of the mitigation was they took out some of the ceiling materials, but as you can see, they didn't really get out everything that was severely water damaged. So we make sure we get all that documented. We got laminate floor here. We could tell it's laminate floor because A, it looks like wood flooring, and B, these are the slats right here. What if this was regular wood flooring? Each slat would be its own individual slat, but you can tell here it kind of has that. Each slat is kind of 3 smaller slats wide, if that makes any sense to you. So that's what we're looking at there. Looks like the ceiling fan has been damaged by water. And here's your closet. We got the flooring that goes in there. Real quick thing that I just kind of make a mental note of just looking at. We got the laminate floor goes continuously into the closet, and the closet doesn't have any baseboard in there, so you don't have to worry about that. Then we go through in another bedroom. All the flooring apparently had been already removed. A little bit of water damage on the wall there, a little bit of staining. Walls are dry, a little bit more of the messed up drywall tape there, and the floor has been removed. Going into the closet, kind of just more of the same. Oh, got another blurry shot here. Let's get rid of that. Okay, there we go. All right, we got our corner shots. Looks like a prior repair on the ceiling. But this here looks like, although this is a prior repair, this real, shoddy looking repair looks like it still does have some staining on there. So it looks like that this thing was repaired prior to water affecting it. So, we're going to keep an eye out for that. Oh, looks like we had a little bit of a recording issue happening here. We're going to have to unfortunately dial this thing back and start again. I apologize, guys. All right. If you are watching this right now, see, we got a good amount of people. Unfortunately, I got to start right back at the beginning. I am recording this entire training session for you right now. It's free. It's wonderful. It's great. This isn't going to stay free forever. I'm actually going to be recording this in the background, and this will be a part of our Xactimate Gold training suite. I'm sure you can read the thing at the bottom there. I'm going to be using the six-figure macro through this, and if you want to get your hands on a copy of the six-figure macro and lifetime access to our training, go check out the link in the description. Okay. There we go. Okay, here we are. Let's try this again. Okay, so today this is the home that we're going to be working with here. I'm going to go through these photos real quick, just kind of give you a general idea of what type of damage we're looking at before we move on to the photo labeling process. So let's go through it here. This is a home. This is I'm the second adjuster to go out to this home. The first adjuster was only able to inspect the roof. This is so I'm inspecting for water damage caused by a leaking roof. So the roof portion's already been taken care of. So I'm out there just to go to the inside that the earlier adjuster did not have access to. Before I got out there, the policyholder's contractor went out there and performed water mitigation, which is just kind of drying things out, trying to prevent any additional water damage. Usually you get a lot of companies that are like ServPro, Service Master, one of these big brand national restoration companies that'll do work like this. This was a contractor, so the actual work performed is a little bit substandard. So I'm going to go through. We're in the hallway right here. We got some water damage to the ceiling. Looks like we got some fungal growth on there on the ceiling. That could cause a coverage issue, but for the sake of this claim and me writing an estimate, I'm not worried about water or any mold growth at this point because I'm just replacing damages from water. So I'm really not concerned with any coverage because of that, and it isn't being posed as a threat or anything like that. So you got some continued water damage, moisture elevated using the moisture meter there. Part of the laminate wood flooring had been removed in this room. Some of the trim from the door openings. Okay, so then that takes us into another bedroom. As you could tell, the contractor that was out there ripped out some of the ceiling because it was damaged, but left a lot of other materials there. So we're going to have to address that in our repair estimate. And the laminate wood flooring is visibly damaged because of all the collapsing ceiling materials that came down. You could see all the plaster on the ground, and you can tell this is laminate wood because instead of it being individual slats of wood, it's actually larger pieces of rectangular pieces of wood that are just kind of made to look like they're individual pieces. All right, so water came down, also caused damage to the ceiling fan. So goes in continuously into the closet right here. Just kind of make a mental note. The laminate wood goes into the closet, and there's no baseboards or anything like that inside of here. Okay, goes into another bedroom. A little bit of water damage, you know, light staining on the ceiling here. The wall is dry. Had some inflated drywall tape in the corner, and the flooring had been removed prior to our inspection. Okay, next bedroom. Looks like we got a prior repair here. So this looks to be unrelated to the roof leak, but all the real shoddy patchwork that was done here, it still has some staining on it. So I'm going to say that this staining is related to the roof leak, but obviously this prior patch is not. It's some more inflated tape, a little bit of moisture underneath the window, but not enough to cause any concern right there. Now, the reason why I even took this photo is because the contractor that is on this was trying to explain to me their theory that all of the exterior walls throughout this second level should be removed because of the water that was affecting it before. And I had to go through with a moisture meter and just kind of extinguish that thought. The contractor really didn't have a good rationale behind it, just that it was just what he suspected. So I wasn't able to get any evidence to confirm that, so we're not going to go for that. This is another one of the bedrooms here. Nothing much going on here, a little bit of water damage to the ceiling, some more inflated tape going down, and the laminate wood flooring that was in this room was also removed. So took a picture of the staircase here because the contractor said that they had to do some repairs to the stairs because of water, and I don't see anything that could have affected it. So these photos I took out of order. These photos are from the hallway, just showing some damage to the door openings. Okay, that brings us to the first floor. This is the foyer area. You got some water that came through the ceiling from that second level. So there you go. Looks like the wall's fine right here. We got the living room. Minor water damage. This is behind a piece of furniture. Water damage going behind the wall there. Here's your kitchen. A little bit of water damage to the ceiling, accumulated over the laminate wood floor, causing that to buckle. Got a little bit of elevated moisture there. Also came down the soffit, the structure that's above the upper cabinets, and the top panel of the cabinets got a little bit of water damage too. A couple more shots just showing the cabinet, and this is right next to where that water damage cabinet is. Little closet right there. It looks pretty gross, but this little drywall access panel was also damaged and got some more inflated tape here. So this is a heavily textured little room, and laminate goes into this room halfway. So here's your dining room. No damage to the dining room, but I'm making sure that I am documenting it because the laminate wood that's inside the kitchen also runs into this room. So the general rule of thumb that adjusters want you to follow, or insurance companies want you to follow, if it's like a wood floor like this, a lot of companies don't want you to replace the floors into rooms that are separated by doorways. I personally make an exception if it's a closet. But if it's just an open area, you can replace all that floor, unless you have some sort of evidence confirming that it's still available and you can still use it. They may have you send it out to ITEL laboratories to confirm if it's available. But hopefully you don't have to deal with all that. You can just replace everything. So here's your hallway. Okay. They reported a little bit of dripping coming from this little area right here, and had some, light inflation to the perimeter of the laminate wood floor slats right there. But that's in this little hallway. This is there is a doorway, so it doesn't matter. All right, and here's just a bedroom right here. Minor water damage coming down this wall here, and a little bit of water damage to the laminate wood. So a lot of laminate wood flooring is damaged. I got some pictures of the closets here just to show that the laminate wood floor goes into this room. And here is our sketch right here. It's my sloppy sketch. So let's go ahead and get this thing shaken. So I'm going to dump them in there. Hopefully my Xactimate doesn't give me an issue while I'm doing this training here as it loads up. If you've been doing this for a while, you probably know that sometimes getting images loaded into your Xactimate could just be problematic sometimes. But thankfully, no issues right here. All right, let's open this up. Now, okay, so I label my photos. It's important to I always take my photos in a certain order so that labeling them later is easier for me. The first photo of the home, that's our risk photo. So I label that risk. And what I'm usually do here, and I vary here and there, I'll always start off just changing the image names to the rooms or whatever it's supposed to be, and then that's when I'll go back and start filling in the descriptions. This task is hated by everyone, but it's a necessary part. So I use a lot of hotkeys here. I use a keyboard. I can move much faster with the keyboard than I can a mouse. So I'm going to highlight all of my hallway pictures, and I'll use the mouse here just as needed, just to double click right there. And I'll call this hallway 1. I'm calling it hallway 1 because I know I have another hallway somewhere. All right, and here's our bedroom 1. I'm going to copy that. Here's our bedroom 1 closet. Bedroom 2. Bedroom 2 closet. Bedroom 3. Bedroom 4. And these I'm going to move back up to hallway 1 and just click and drag, put them back into a little better position here. All right, very good. Okay, so we've got all that. All right, that brings us to that foyer. Brings us to that living room, the kitchen, kitchen closet, dining room. All right, so we actually, if we refer back to here, that hallway, oh, we're gonna have to take a quick break for just a second. Just gotta change out one little thing. All right, I just had a little technical failure here. All right, if you guys have any questions, drop it in. Did get one. They can dry the walls if need be. No need to remove drywall unless the insulation is wet. I'll just address that real quick. You're right. But a lot of time, there are times, most of the time, a lot of these insurance companies don't want you to write mitigation estimates. They just want you to write repair estimates. They don't want you kind of trying to think you're educated or smart. So you'll have a much easier time just replacing drywall that's wet than you would trying to write up some big explanation as to why you think they can be dried, you know. And while you're doing all that, you're probably just trying to find a way to get paid less. So I wouldn't bother with it. Listen, if it's dry and you want to justify and show in your estimate that it's dry and that's why you're going to just paint it rather than remove and replace it, I mean, yeah, you could do that, or you could just replace it. Let's get this. All right, Let me get this going. Explain how you're highlighting. All right, I'll get that in a second. We just make sure this thing's up. I'm able to highlight those photos just by exercising the holding the shift button down, the shift key down, while I'm using the arrows. If you have one photo selected, hold the shift down, arrow to the right, you'll be able to select multiple of them. The ugly cousin of that is the control button. You can use the control button and do not highlight non-consecutive ones there. Hopefully that does it. Okay, let's try to get this thing back up here. Why not use a pre-label tree? I don't like using a pre-label tree. I hate getting estimates. I hate getting assignments where they're all divided up in a million different folders. It makes my job harder when I have to deal with that. And it just doesn't. I just don't see much of a benefit to doing that. Plus, I like to do my photos first before anything else, before I start building out my diagrams, because I feel like if I do my diagrams first, I have to constantly look at my photos to remember, okay, how many windows are in there? How many doors are in there? What kind of door is that? Rather than if I do my photos first, I may have to still look back at my photos when I'm doing my diagram, but I've got a little bit more fluency because I have everything that's fresh. Otherwise, I know that I may run into some issues there. Hopefully that helps address that. All right. If you guys are watching, do me a favor, share this video. Okay. All right. Let's get this. All right. Okay. So now let's get started again. Okay. So working on this little hallway right here. It's kind of right here. This is the hallway. This is kind of one hallway, and then we have a second hallway right there. So let's jump back. All right, so here is the first hallway. Call that hallway 2, and this is hallway 3. Okay. Once again, I'll guide through the little hotkey method I use there. I'm scrolling through all these photos just using the left and right on the keyboard. I get to what photo I want to start with here, and then I'm going to highlight the second one by just holding the shift button down and the right arrow. That gives me 2. I'll drop my cursor right there. Control V drops in is a paste. So then I have that on there. So I could do the same exact thing for this, but then as soon as that's in, backspace 3. Oops, 3. Done. Moving on. Oh, hit these 2. Boom, 3. All right, and that brings us to this bedroom. This is the 5th bedroom in the house. So I'm going to call it bedroom 3, or I'm sorry, 5. Bedroom 5, closet 1, bedroom 5, closet 2. Boom, get rid of this diagram. And there's all of our rooms done up for you. Okay, so now we get to the point of labeling them or describing them. So this is the approach I always take. The one thing, adjusting companies always want all their photos labeled. So I would rather, if I mislabel a photo, I would rather it be, or forget to label a photo. It's not because I forgot to label the photo. It's because I just simply forgot to properly describe the photo. So here's what I mean. I'm going to take my first hallway and I'm going my first picture of the second floor, and I'm going to find the last picture of my second floor. And that's all of this. In my description, I'm going to, in caps, I write second level. This is an overview photo of the affected room. Very simple. My notes are very, very simple here. Now from there, I'm just going to change the descriptions as needed. I'll start with this. These photos here just go water damage to the ceiling and to the walls. Okay. I'll go down to the rest of the photos that I have just showing water damage to the ceiling and to the walls. Boom, boom, And it's only going to work on the second level, all of these. There we go. Now, in my description, I'll write water damage was observed over the ceiling and wall materials. That's it. Now all of those are labeled. Let's keep going. All right, so flooring. Water mitigation included the removal of select laminate wood flooring. I'm just going to highlight. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to highlight this statement. It's up until water mitigation included the removal of. And I'm going to use that. Boom, boom. Select door trim. Okay. All right, here's that picture of the stairs. I'm just going to use the statement, and I have this already saved. There was no direct physical damage related to the loss observed. And in my report later, I'm going to describe why I even took that picture. All right, here's the two pictures of the door openings. Water damage was observed inside the door openings. Okay, here we go. Water mitigation included the removal of select ceiling materials. All right, moving on. Water damage was observed over the laminate wood floor. I'll save that. Water damage was observed over to the ceiling fan. All right, this photo. I'm going to call this, there was no other damage I could see inside this closet, so I'm going to call it the unaffected room. And in this photo, I'm going to say laminate wood floor runs continuously into this room. All right, next one. So this is already labeled. A lot of little water damage. All right, this is that dry indication right here. Boom. There you go. All right, now here's a photo of no flooring. So I'm just going to go ahead and take that photo, this photo, this photo. Okay. Water mitigation included the removal of all laminate wood flooring. There you go. There's a picture of that prior repair. Say this prior repair is unrelated to the roof leak. This is water damage. Okay. Photo showing basically no moisture inside the wall there, very minimal amount right underneath the window, no direct physical damage. That little bit, I'm not considering that to be damage. Okay, that'll dry up on its own very quickly. Okay, that brings us down to here. Now, I'm going to apply the same thing to the first level. For cats, first level, this is an overview photo of the affected room. Okay, so here's your ceiling. Here's some more ceiling. Let's look for every ceiling only picture. Boom, boom. Let's keep it going. All right, these are all our ceiling only pictures. We'll pick that one too. Water damage was observed over the ceiling materials after ensuing through the second level. All right. Okay. We'll copy that entire text. Now let's look at our walls. Wall, 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 wall. That's fine. Wall. And that's it, right? Now you're going to use the same statement, but swap out ceiling with wall. All right, let's go back up. Where are we at? Laminate floor. Let's get the laminate. Boom, 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 boom. Water damage was observed over the laminate wood floor. Got it. I'll copy that entire statement. Just to recap what I just did, if you're not watching my hands right now, so you see the flashing cursor on my text. I want to copy that entire statement, but I want to do it real quick. While the cursor is just flashing there, I'm going to hold the control button down. A, C for air conditioning. That A highlights everything, C copies it. So now that I have that copied, I'm going to highlight these photos, drop my cursor in there, Control A, V. V pastes. So I selected everything, hit V, and it pasted. And then instead of over the laminate wood floor, I'm going to write over the upper cabinets. And that takes us out. We kind of just do a once over laminate wood floor runs continuously into this room. Go through everything else, make sure we got everything addressed. That's correct. All right. These two rooms, call them the unaffected room. Laminate wood flooring runs continuously into this room. Boom. That's it. So just like that, we got them all labeled. That's 109 photos. Always remember, renumber. Okay. It's a shame that Xactimate's not smart enough to just renumber it for you. So instead, just hit the renumber. And just like that, 109 photos are properly labeled. As soon as you hit X, it usually saves, but I make it a habit. I always click save anyway. So that's that. And now we can move over to the next step, which is diagramming. All right, I'm going to take a quick little break right here. Guys, drop in any questions you might have. I'll give you a couple, do a few minutes to get some questions geared up. Okay. Let's see. Any apps for a tablet would you recommend to label photos in the field while during an inspect to upload one of those apps? Yeah, personally, no. I've seen demos for about 1,000 of them. None of them I really have taken a liking to. Some people, this is just my opinion, some people are so against the task of labeling their photos that they'll do just about anything to avoid it. I personally don't I don't mind it that much. I mean, I don't know how long that demo just took there, but if it was just me, I would have probably moved through it much faster. So let's see, anything else? What percentage are you looking for on the meter? I mean, it varies. But general rule of thumb, I mean, that thing's gonna go off after it hits a certain, depending on what the material is that you're holding it against. It'll go. I mean, if that thing rings, that's typically good enough for me. Sometimes I'll lower that standard a little bit, but that's the general thought right there. Okay. Anybody got anything else, guys? A handful of people watching right now. We're going to move on to diagramming in a second here. So, if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you join our Claims Adjuster Success Network Facebook page. If you're watching on the Facebook page, make sure you jump over to the Adjuster University YouTube channel. All right. We're going to get, without further ado, then, we're going to get shaking on this. Okay. All right, and here we go. Wood. Yeah, definitely not either of those. Okay. So let's get cracking here. Okay, next we are going to tackle this sketch. Now, obviously, this sketch is handwritten. This is my chicken scratch that you're looking at. And big disclaimer, I have already done this estimate or this sketch. So I already know where I'm going to encounter a problem. Once I get around right here to this hall area, I'm going to have a very hard time making sense of my own measurements. But that's okay. General rule of thumb, my general rule of thumb is if you, for whatever reason, maybe your dyslexia kicked in, you're in the field, you write the wrong number down, and you just can't figure it out. Number one, look at the photos, exercise some logic, try to figure out what makes the most sense to you. Sometimes you could find that you wrote 8 feet on a wall when it's clearly not 8 feet, and you can start to adjust things like that. If your photos really aren't that good, which I believe in this case, I did not have the right angles. I always err to the side of the policyholder. I would rather make their room a little bit bigger than make their room a little bit smaller. They will complain if they see that you measured their room smaller than what it is. That looks like bad faith. But they probably won't claim if you made it a little bit bigger. So let's get started. So the first thing that I'm going to do, as I always do, is drop in my 6-figure macro right here. Boom. And that's going to change everything for me. And now, we'll just pick this guy for right now. Doop. There we go. Okay. All right. Get rid of the levels that we don't need. Coverage that we don't need. And that brings us right here. All right. Here we go. So I've recently made it more of a habit to take pictures of my sketch so I can work. So if I'm on an airplane or I'm in a cramped space and I'm just trying to get my sketch in, I can just have it on the screen like that. So here we go. So I'll start off with start off with this room right here, bedroom 1. So 422944. Those are the 3 numbers that I'm going to pay attention to. 42, utilize my square break with the letter B, drop it somewhere around there, stretch this out to 44. There we go. I'm going to highlight the room, zoom in with the little scrolly thing on the mouse. I see this is at 24. I want it 29, so I'm just going to click here. Right there. Boom. Perfect. 422944. This one, 74. Bring it down. 74. All right. So this little box here, this is the little indication that I leave that it's a window. And because I don't have a measurement next to it, I know that it's 2.5 feet wide. Bam. Door. I drop a door on just by clicking the letter D. That's it. Doors are, slab doors like this are standard, so it goes in very easy. So there we go. That's one. Now, I usually wait to the end to label all the rooms. So now I'm going to build out bedroom 3 because it's right there and it's easy. Now, this wall goes down. It looks like 9, 9. So this is going to be very easy. I'm going to highlight this wall. I'm going to hold the control button down. Then while I'm holding that control button down, I'm going to click on this marker, click and drag, bring it out to 9, 9. Boom. There we go. Let go of the control key, and there's our second room. There's a little closet right here. I don't have measurements for that closet, but we can surmise what it would be. Probably like that. There we go. There's our closet. Now, I made that closet by doing this. Hold the B down. That's B for square break. Drop it in about right here. Looks good. Hold the control button down again. Click on this marker. Click and drag. Boom. There's our room. Okay. Now, moving to this hallway. Now I see down here, I wrote 3, 1. From this corner to the back corner here, this little wall is 3 feet, 1 inches. And then it comes out 2 feet, 5 inches. So here's what I'll do. Square break the letter B, drop it in right there. Take this marker. Before I click on the marker, hold the control button down. Then I click on the marker, drag it out. Drag it out to 2, 5. Now, if I click on this wall and drag this wall out to 3, 1, then after I drag this out to the rest of my hallway, my 3, 1 becomes 3, 5. That's because it's accounting for the thickness of the wall, something like that. So just going to need to readjust that. Back to 3, 1. Very good. So how wide should this hall be? I made that note right here, 4, 3. So we've got that. I'm going to go ahead and bring it all the way back. But oops, we forgot this little closet right here. How do we put the closet in? We'll grab this wall, hold the control button down, click the marker, drag it over. There's our closet, and we make sure. Now, don't be sloppy. See right here, this little lip? Just snap it in place. Make it look clean. There we go. Now right here, we have a window, 2.5. Beautiful. Okay, let's get working on bedroom 2. I'm going to use a square break, letter B. I don't care where I drop it right now. I'm just dropping it anywhere. Then I'm going to hold the control button down, drag it out. I almost don't even care. Control down again. I'll drop it wherever. Create that little box. None of these measurements are accurate, but that's okay, because we can just figure it out now. 6'2", 4'6", 4'1". 6'2", 4'6", 2'1". Oops. 4'1". My apologies. 4'1". 6'2", 4'6", 4'1". 6'11". There you go. There's your room. Now I know that there was a window right there, so I'll drop that window in. Next room, office, 9'2". Now let's pay attention here. I made a little error when I labeled my photos. So this office, I labeled the photo as bedroom 4, I believe it was. So I'm just going to go ahead and disregard that. Always in general, I personally, if it's a bed, I like to distinguish the difference between a bedroom from an office or a den by whether or not it has a closet. I don't care usually if there's a bed in it or not. If it's a room with a closet, that's a bedroom to me. If it's a room without a closet, it's an office. I don't personally have enough creativity in me to think of all these different names. It's one or the other. Doesn't really matter to me what the room is called. The only thing that matters is how much it's going to cost to repair. So anyway, got a nice square room. It's 9'2", is that exterior wall. So I'm going to click that and hold the control button down. Click on this marker, click and drag. 292. Okay, so we've got that. Now that leaves, the only thing really we have left is this staircase. Now, if we come down, this staircase is 1 foot 8 inches. That doesn't seem right. Seems a little bit shy there. So I'm not going to take away from the bedroom to make the stairway seem a little bit more reasonable, because I always err to the side of the insured. I'm going to make just the staircase just a little bit more reasonable, 3'2", and that's it. Bring this back up. Generally, it does not matter if you want the actual staircase to show up in this level or the first level, but if you do want it to show up on the second level, you should be adjusting the settings of the staircase so that it appears lower. For instance, if I wanted to just drop it in right here, if I go to 3D mode, save it real quick, it will actually appear higher than what it should be. So what I would want to do is double click it and make sure relation to level is below. And maybe I want it 8 feet below. And then that makes a little bit more sense when you're looking at it. But I won't be doing that. I'll keep it on the other one. So from here, we're going to label the rooms, drop in the rest of the doors and whatnot. Hallway. Oops. Bedroom 1. Bedroom 1 closet. Bedroom 2. Bedroom 2 closet. Bedroom 3. Bedroom 3 closet. And we're going to call this one bedroom 4 after all. Okay, we've got all those. Let's drop our doors in. We just used a letter D for a door. Boop. 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 Okay. So let's jump back in our photos real quick. Just take a look. Because I know I'm missing some little notes here that I should have taken while I was going through each room. All right, so here's our bedroom 1. Here's our bedroom 2. This room did not have a door on its closet, so we're just going to make a missing wall for the door opening. I'll use the letter M. Just click on the letter M and then click and drag a little bit of an opening. We'll adjust that to 2.5. We've got the window in here also, so we're good. Okay, that brings us to number 3. Here's our closet, same deal. All right, now oftentimes if I know that I'm going to create just another opening here, instead of doing M and click and dragging, I'm a little bit faster if I just select this opening, Control C for copy, Control V for paste, and then find where I want to drop it. Boom, there you go. This thing looks a little bit smaller, so we're just going to make this closet a little bit wider. Bam, there we go. All right, and we got to get our window in there. Bam, there's our window. Okay, here's our office. Got a little window right there. Okay, got it. Now the last little thing that we have, get back to our sketch. Bam. I'm going to get rid of this wall because that's where the stairway is. And we have this little cutout here. This is for the chimney. And it's right here off this room. So I'll use a square break. Drop it about right there. Hold the control button down. Click the marker. Drag it out. That's about it right there. 2.6 by, looks like I put 2.1. I'm not sure if that's right, if it's 2.6. It seems like a very narrow. We'll just make that 2.1. And then 2.6. There you go. Now, this comes in as a room. So the only way to get rid of that, highlight it, delete. Now it's just a void. So there we go. There is our second level. I'm going to open these. I just want to make sure that the other end of this hallway did not have a window. Doesn't seem like it did. So we'll just move on. That brings us to the first level. Here we go. We will start with the biggest room, which is the living room. 1911 by 15.7. Very good. All right, now we're going to do the kitchen. Here's how we'll do the kitchen. Click this wall. What do? Hold the control button down, grab the marker, stretch it out. Square break, drop it in. Same thing applies. All right, I don't really care so much about my measurements at this moment because I'm just going to get it fixed up now. 11.3, 5.3 to 11. 11.3, 5.3 to 11. Okay. Now, when I look at the way that I wrote this up, I know that this wall right here is solid. Okay. I know this is solid and that there's no difference. This is one continuous wall, structural wall. But if I follow my measurements, I've got a lip right here. It just doesn't make sense to me. So I'm just going to stretch that in. Okay. So now let's go to this wonky looking foyer. Now the foyer is especially wonky because see this wall here, the 8-7 and the 4-6 and the 2-4. These are separations in the room, but they're not solid walls. I'll go back and I'll show you. Okay, here's our foyer right here. Let's look back. So you see here, it's like a missing wall here, and then it's another missing wall for like 2.5 feet, and then it's a solid wall. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay. First thing, there's a lot of angles here. So I'm just going to do myself a favor. I'm going to use the wall tool, or you can use just press the letter W. So I'm just going to kind of look at it and just kind of be Picasso for a second. Boom, boom, boom. I'll skip that one wall that comes out. Just bring it all the way down here. Something like that, right? So I'll zoom in and then I'll make my corrections. 191495. 191495. Bam. Now, I'm going to use a little, so 11.6 here. 11.6. 874624. 874624. But by making this 24, my 9.5 up here goes away. So I'm going to err to the side of the insured. So here's our general room. But we still have this little wall here. So here's what I'll do. Take the little wall tool. All right. And I'll drag this out to 11, 411. There we go. Now this 411 is 3.9 away from the wall. The front exterior wall, I want to make it 3.5. So I'll just give it a little scooch. Oh, is it going to give me a problem here? There we go. 3.4, 3.5, good enough for me. If it's good enough for you, it's good enough for me. Now, easy one. Now here's the dining room. Now just keep in mind, guys, earlier I said that I knew that I have a measurement issue. It gets a little wonky right here. So we'll do our best to figure it out. I may even try to do something different than I did the first time that I did this sketch. But let's start in the dining room. Dining room is very simple. It's basically kind of squared off from the foyer. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select this wall, hold the control button down, click and drag to 11.4. You see 11.4 right here? So I want this wall here to come down to 11.4. It's going to measure on this side. So 10.3, 11.3, give me a little bit, 11.4. Then we're going to snap it in to this wall right here. There we go. Now, as you can see, now here's where things do get weird. So when I look at the shape of this room, it looks like this wall is 6 feet 10 inches. Okay. Let's take a look at our photos. Here's the dining room. Can we see? So here's the foyer in the way back. You see that? Then it comes out. Then you have this little wall. This looks like it might be 211. And then this comes out. Does it look like 610? I mean, man, I don't know. Might be a bit much. We'll leave it as is for right now. But here's what we will do while we're looking at this photo. So, see this door? So here's the difference between taking this wall and deleting it and putting a missing wall. When you delete the wall, it's basically as if there's no wall materials there whatsoever. It just runs continuously into that area. By doing a missing wall, you leave that little lip up there. So I want to leave that lip. So the full difference here. So I'm going to remove everything there. Now here's the other thing. This is 4.5 feet long right here. When I look down here, this doesn't look 4.5 feet. I mean, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 slats of laminate wood. Okay. So, I mean, I don't know. I feel like that's a little too much. But nevertheless, we'll just keep rolling with it. All right, so we have that missing wall right there. We're good there. We're going to make another little missing wall right here. Call it about 2.5 feet. Click it, drag it into place. There we go. Okay. Let's get back to our sketch. Okay. So I'm going to try to avoid this issue that I was talking about by, instead of building out my rooms this way like I did before, I'm going to do the bedroom first. So I'm going to click on this wall, hold Control down, click and drag and start my room. All right, so I'll just make a general room right now. So as you see all these angles, right? All these crazy angles. The most efficient way, in my opinion, to do a room like this is to start off inaccurate. Just make your room. All right, you're going to be wrong. It's not a matter of whether you're right now. It's a matter of just getting the shape in. You want to start with a good foundation. Here you go. Every measurement here is wrong, but now we have the opportunity to make it right. Inside this closet, it's 3-3. Boom. Okay, got that. Then this wall right here, 8-2. Beautiful. Okay, next measurement that we know is this a 4-2 or a 9-2? Let's take a look at our photos. This is that wall. Does not look like a 4-2, looks like a 9-2. So make this from 5-7. Oh, can't go down to 9-2. Let's make this room a little bit bigger. 9-2. Make this 2-6. What's next? 4-5. Snap this wall back into place. All right, so see how this really makes sense here? So I'm just going to make sure all the walls snap together nicely. Okay. So now I don't have this wall, this exterior wall measured, but that's okay. I'm going to get back to squaring this room off because I know this wall right here next to the closet is 2-4. And there we go. And then this is 5-4, but it doesn't even matter. So I'm off by a foot. But it doesn't really matter because even if I'm wrong here, I mean, I've got it up here. So we're going to roll with that. Okay, so everything looks pretty good. The 2-9's just enough for a little doorway. So let's bring it down. We're going to now start working on this little hallway. 3-9. Click and drag. Boom. Square it off. There's our hallway. Then I know that we have a stairway right here. That's the stairway I've been waiting to drop in. Use the stair thing. Now, see this? You can adjust the direction of the stairs by using the tab button. Right here looks reasonable. Click and go. I'll take this wall, stretch it out this way. There we go. Now, we have 2 different rooms right here. But before we're done, I'm going to show you how to make that into one room. So we have our hallway here. We got the stairway, goes into the dining room. Okay. Now let's go to this tricky area I've been really trying to avoid, and I feel like we're going to have an easier time with it. So first I'm going to do this first little hallway. Square break right here. Click and drag. Make sure it's 5-7. Beautiful. What's our width? Our depth? 7.4. 7.4. Next part of that hall, same thing. B square break. Drop it in. Hold control down. Click and drag. We want this 6.2. Boom. Goes in. Kind of makes more sense here. Really didn't get the problem I thought I was going to have just because I took a different approach. There we go. That's it. I'll tell you right now, I spent way more time doing this the first time. Now here we are. So now let's label our rooms. Living room. Kitchen. Kitchen closet. Foyer. Dining. This is our hallway 2. Now this is our hallway 2. So in my photographs, I document this whole area as a hall, as one room. And the only thing that keeps it from being one room is this wall here. Because this wall is not missing. This wall is not completely gone, where the ceiling is continuous into both sides. It's a missing wall. So I'm going to drop my missing wall in there. This is what it was like. But now I still have 2 different rooms. Now I'm going to combine these to one room by picking the one that I like the least, which is this one. Double clicking it. Let's make it a subgroup, which basically just means it's like you're giving it a parent. Subgroup of hallway 2. Now you get that little parentheses. If you ever see a parenthesis, that means it's a parent. It's a child of another room. But I don't want it to show up in my estimate tree. I just want it to be there. So I'm going to show label. No. That's it. Now it's like it's one room. Now we're going to apply that same theory, that same method to hallway 3. I don't want the stairs to be its own thing. So I'm going to say no, subgroup of hallway 3. As they say in The Sopranos, bada bing. So we're going to make this not bedroom 4 because we made this one into bedroom 4. We're going to make this bedroom 5. Control A, C. Now we got that copied. Closet 1. Closet 2. And this belongs to the foyer closet. Now, let's get our windows. Get a window here. I'll just drag this to where I know it was. Control C for copy. And I'm going to start dropping. I'm going to start dropping windows like a madman. Boom. I know there's a door right here, D for door. There's a double door right here. I'm going to click and drag this out to 5 feet. Gives me a double door. Sweet. There's a door opening. When I do my sketches, I make my door openings these little 2 lines. You see these 2 little lines here? That's how I know it's a door opening. So M for missing. 5. Boom. What else we got? We got a door there, door there. Boom. Boom. Very good. We got I don't know what that is. Oh, that's just a door. Drop a door right there. We got a missing wall right here. I know there's a window right here. We got a window here. Got a window here. Got a door here. Got a door here. Got an itsy bitsy window right here. Got a big old window right here. And I don't know, are we missing anything? We look good. Oh, we got to have these, drop these doors in. 4, I'll copy that. Drop it in right there. It's not working. So I want to get a double door. Actually, no, I don't. I want to get a single door. That's all I need right there. Now, this door went into the closet. Don't be a schmo. Don't send that up like that. If you highlight the door and use one of the C note buttons, you know, it's that little weird looking things, the caption key next to the right of the letter P. You can start playing around with the doors like that. Just make sure. Whether it's a left-handed door knob or a right, doesn't matter to me so much. but just make sure that it's not going into the room. Okay. Let's 1 second here. Okay. So the very last thing that looks like we are missing is the door opening here for this kitchen. Boom. Make that. Okay, so we've got that. Now, the only other thing that we're going to do here. Oh, and we got a door opening right here. Put that in. Okay, so I think we're in pretty good business here, guys. So we've got all that. Now, there is one more thing that we are going to have to go through, and that is reference blocks. Because I know that I will be replacing the flooring in this kitchen. So I don't want to be replacing the flooring that's underneath the cabinets. So here's how we're going to do that. So cabinets right here go wall to wall. So this is going to be very easy. That's this wall right here. Block. Drop it in. All right. I say just drop it in because if you try to get exact with it, it's going to be hard to tell where a 2 feet depth is. And if you start going like this and kind of go a little too far, it won't go. Listen, just save yourself some time. Just go like that right in the middle and then start adjusting accordingly. Boom. Boom. 2 foot depth. Bam. Okay, now this goes up about 6.5 feet. So you double click that, make it 6.5. Don't let it stay the main block. Let's put cabinets / backsplash. Okay, then set the behavior. Really doesn't matter because I don't want to, if I'm painting the walls here, I definitely don't want to paint behind this stuff. So I'm just going to write yes for everything. But get familiar with what you're doing right there. I'm going to take this, highlight it, Control C. Then I'm going to Control V. Drop it right about, I don't know, here. And then just again, adjust accordingly. Let's look at the picture that I took of this part. There we go. Bring it to the wall. Looks like about 6 feet. Move this up, make it pretty. Correct the name, cabinets and backsplash. Bam, beautiful. There we go. Now, with the macro, we've got this whole thing here. I always leave a little bit of these little notes. Just kind of makes your job look good. X equals water damage. So I know that we had some water damage right here. We had some water damage right here. Oh, we need a door right there. There we go, good. We had some water damage here. Here. Definitely had some here. 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 Boom, 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 boom. No water damage around here. I think this is a pretty good wrap. And there's a little bit right there. Go back to the second floor. Kind of move this closer, get rid of this one, get rid of this. And then we had a ton right here. We had some right here. We had a little bit here. A little here. And in bedroom 2, I think we had just a little bit. Let's double check. And a little bit on like an interior wall right here. That was it. That's a wrap. So we got the second level, first level, looking good. This is a very good sketch if I say so myself. Got it done. And yeah, this is 2 full floor plans to get done right here. It's annotated, it's documented. You got your reference blocks in there. New adjusters don't do that. You got annotation showing exactly where the water damage is. New adjusters don't do that. You got doors where there's supposed to be doors. You got openings where there's supposed to be openings. You're going to miss openings. You're going to miss doors. You're going to miss windows. It's just kind of a way of life. But just do your best to avoid that as much as possible. And you're going to be in the best shape and delivering quality products. All righty. Okay, there we go. All right, we got that. Guys, feel free to drop in any questions you have before we get moving to the estimating portion of this. Okay. Did you guys learn a thing or two during that? How y'all feel? Quiet. What's going on? All right. Gil, you're hanging in there with me. What's happening? I feel like it's just me and you right now. Take a little sip of water and we'll keep this party rolling. Glad to hear you getting some value out of it, man. Listen, share this thing, man. Make sure you're on our YouTube page. Make sure you're on our Facebook group, Facebook page. I've been doing this. I've been doing Adjust University for a freaking, some years now. But, I kind of like got to this point where, man, I'm just about, we got stuff for sale. Don't get me wrong. I'd love for you to go over to the website, adjustuniversity.com. The stuff that's on there is all stuff that I think is very valuable for adjusters. And every time anybody goes there and buys something, man, just keeps the lights on, keeps the bill paid, keeps me motivated to be giving out more content. And this year kind of decided that I got to put out some more stuff for free, man. I'm trying to work with the new adjusters like yourself to get everybody going. Because I know when I started, when I started, there wasn't all these websites. There wasn't all these different places you could go to learn how to do this stuff. For the most part, you just had to figure it out. YouTube wasn't even that big back then. That's how crazy. That's how long. That's how quickly things changed. So there wasn't all these ways that you could figure out how to get it going. So it was tough. So I kind of started this thing. It's a little easier now, I feel like, with YouTube and, some other websites that are out there. But, man, listen, for years when I started, like, this was all I thought about. I love this stuff. It's silly to really like this. But at the very beginning, man, I mean, I was bartending. I was doing odd jobs. Like, I wasn't making that much money. Like, I was making a little bit more than maybe like a lot of my peers, but I really wasn't making that much. And then I found this and I thought, man, I could do well with this. So this was my life. I mean, this is all I thought about all throughout the day. So, then it kind of got to the point, I think, with everybody else, like, just like anybody else. I mean, you do it for so long. I think I started to get a little bit jaded. Kind of didn't want to do, like, I was getting tired of doing the same thing over and over. I had made more every single year. And then I had a year where I made a ridiculous amount of money, but I killed myself all year for it. And I was just, at that point, I was just like, man, I gotta find something else. I gotta find something else that I can find some enjoyment out of. And what that turned into was just getting other people to discover what independent insurance adjusting is and get them going. Most people quit. So I'm just trying to help, kind of help some people along the way find a reason not to quit, find a reason to keep going at it, give everybody a little bit more better of a push than they might have gotten otherwise. and just making money, man, and making good money, feeling good about yourself, being able to provide for your family, whether that's, or just provide for yourself, I mean, I think like 90% of my confidence that I have today is because I figured out how to do this and figured out how to crack this egg, and I've said it before, you could take this away from me. You could take all this stuff away from me. You could tell me, that no matter what I do from this point forward, I cannot do anything claims related. I can't even do anything insurance related. I can't make a penny from anything related to this stuff, and I'm going to be fine because I know that I was able to conquer this. I know I was able to figure out what it actually took to give myself an unfair advantage and to succeed in this little thing. I'll be able to do it with anything, no matter what. So I'm just trying to help everybody else. Yeah, Hurricane Florence, man. That was a long trip. That was a long trip, man. I was I was stoked to be doing that. Fourth deployment. Yeah, definitely check it out. Fourth deployment, man. Yeah, you're in it. You're in it, dude. And it's at this point, it's just a matter of finding whatever little tiny thing that you can do to just squeeze in that extra claim per day. Because one extra claim per day is huge. All right, we're gonna get rocking here. Okay. Boom. Okay, so we just finished our diagrams here. We got our first level here. We got our second level here. We literally just finished this, and now we're going to begin to move over to the estimating portion of this claim. So we used a six-figure macro. We always use a six-figure macro no matter what, and now is, so we're going to jump over to the estimate items. Now things get a little bit wonky. Go over to the items button. All right, now here we go. We're going to get rid of these little elevation things, highlight them, just cut them out. We're going to get rid of the stuff we don't need down here. Excuse me, let me take a little sip. Okay. All right, so first thing is first, we're going to make sure that all of our rooms are in order. Always make a habit of saving as we go along. Rooms should always be in the order that you take your photographs. I've said it a million times. You've probably heard it before. So it's important to have a certain flow that you go through that's consistent with every one of your inspections. Hallways always come before my bedrooms. Closets always after, and I keep everything numbered just like this. Boom, that's it. Go down here. My foyers always come first, then the living room, then the dining room, then the kitchen. Then I might go to a laundry room, utility room, hallway. Move this here. Oh, hallway 2, then hallway 3, the bedroom, 1, 2, boom. Save. There we go. All right, so let's get started. First things first, always build our estimate while closely reviewing the photographs. Never go strictly off your memory because I hate to be the one to tell you, but you're stupid. I'm stupid. So always review your photos. So in this one, we've got, it's really just a lot of water damage on the one side of the hallway. So I'm just going to R&R half the hallway's ceiling and half the hallway's walls. So I'm just going to take all those line items, drop them in. I drop them in just by highlighting all of them in the appropriate folder and then just dumping them in. There's no content manipulation. Everything is largely just bare in the room. So I'm just going to add a little charge for some final cleaning. Antimicrobial. Now, mitigation was done by the contractor that was there before, but it wasn't very good. It was definitely subpar. So I'm going to just still include. Now, I said earlier, may have said earlier that I don't include mitigation. Most insurance companies, they don't want mitigation. I will include, unless told otherwise, at least a microbial. It doesn't really matter. The contractor's probably not going to do it, but I put it in there anyway. And I include, if the materials are going to be wet, I'll include the water category line item, just for the additional cost to haul, sopping wet materials. So I'm going to replace the insulation in half of the ceiling. So C divided by 2, C for ceiling divided by 2, that's half. Get rid of these. 6-inch paper face. That's what I'm kind of assuming is up there. Boom. That's good. There is no access into the attic, so that insulation is probably just going to be replaced with the drywall. So here we go. Tear out wet drywall. WC, walls and ceiling, divided by 2. Get rid of these 2 items. 1/2-inch drywall on this, or 5/8 on the ceiling, 1/2-inch on the walls. Boom. Take this down. We're to mask the floor prior to paint. Some insurance companies will tell you, well, if you're ripping out the floor, then you don't need to mask it. There's a little bit of truth to that. But that doesn't necessarily always happen like that. So that's all right. So anyway, 2 coats. I, as a standard, go 2 coats. If you have your own 6-figure macro, you're going to want to change it around to fit the estimating guidelines for whoever you're working with. Usually your ceiling is a different color than your walls, but it really doesn't seem like that's the case here. It just seems like it's pretty cheaply put together. So mitigation took out about half the floor, something like that. So it also does not look like there were really any baseboards installed on this wall. And the reason why I say that is because when I look around, I don't see any paint ripped off when they took the baseboard off. Sometimes that happens. I don't even see a line. If there was baseboard on there, I mean, the paint that's behind the baseboard is usually going to turn to be a different color than the paint that's above it. That's not here. Just looks like there was no baseboard, so I'm not going to include anything else over the wall. So get rid of the rest of these line items. So here we go. Now I'm going to get rid of this microbial. I'll clean half the floor. I'm going to clean the floor that's underneath this, in case there is still a little bit of residual moisture underneath it. But what I will be doing, and of course, that could just be the way I estimate. Now I'm going to remove all remaining laminate wood flooring. There is a moisture barrier underneath, an additional moisture barrier underneath it. So I'm going to change this action code from remove and replace to just, actually, no. Yeah, we leave it, or no. Some of that was removed, particularly like right here. It's hard to see, but they did remove some of that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to switch this action from remove and replace to just remove. Set it to half the floor as well. And from there, I'm going to highlight it, Control C, Control V. And now I have a second line item. I'm going to switch that from remove to replace. And I'm going to make sure that that's set to the entire floor. And then laminate for the entire floor. There we go. Boom. There's our floor. Let's move to our door trims. This door trim was removed, and I really don't believe that there was any door trim around this door for the same reason. So this one right here, I mean, you could tell just by looking at this that everything is just kind of poorly put together. So get rid of that. Now, I don't think that there were any other door trims. Yeah. So this room was under construction, under terrible construction when it was done. So I'm going to mask around that one door opening. Not that it really matters at this point. Obviously, it wasn't done before. And I'm just going to remove 14 feet. Just get rid of the rest of the molding there. Make it stain grade. Just add a plus right here. Plus right here. 17 feet. Stain and finish the casing, and that's it. Probably estimating a little heavy, considering the poor quality of this. Okay. That's it for there. One other thing. So you got all this water damage right here. You got this light fixture right there. I didn't check the light fixture before I left. So for that reason, I mean, I'm going to leave it as is. What I will do, I'll at least mask it. If that comes back later as a supplement, we'll address it then. Okay. So that's everything in this room. Now we go on to here. When I was inspecting this room, kind of came to a consensus with the contractor that it's just made more sense to just gut the whole room. I mean, it's all over the place and it seems reasonable. So dump in my line items again. Doop, 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 doop. Uh-oh. I think I might have made Xactimate a little upset. Let's see. All right. Any second now, Xactimate should be crashing on us. Oh, no, there it goes. I'm going to do a quick save before it does crash. All right, let's see. Let's see if we can keep this moving. Okay, our line items are in. Contents in this room, basic is none. We got kind of drapes that are pinned to the wall. I'm not going to do anything about that. Same as the hall. I'm just going to get rid of everything except for that final cleaning. Okay. Microbial, man, WC. I don't care about what the contractor removed. I mean, yeah, we'll get rid of some. We'll call it 32 square feet. We won't apply microbial where there's nothing, okay? So what we will do, however, we're going to rip out all the remaining insulation in the ceiling, and we'll do the exterior walls as well. Let's jump over to our sketch. Exterior walls account for 10.1 plus 4.2 equals 14.3. Let's go back. So here's what now. We're going to do a little algebra. So I want to do the ceiling minus 32. So in parentheses, I'm going to put C minus 32. I also want 14.3, which is the linear distance of those two exterior walls, times, it's not exactly 8, but we'll give it 8. So that was the whole ceiling minus 32, then 14.3 times 8 for those exterior walls. Okay. So same go now for the ceiling, we're going to replace all the insulation, so C. And then for the exterior wall insulation, that's 14.3 times 8. There we go. Get rid of everything else. Now we're going to apply the same numbers to the drywall. So drywall, WC, minus 32 for what was already removed. Get rid of these other removal line items. Place the whole ceiling, place all the walls. Boom. Match the floor. We're not going to match the light fixture because we're going to replace that light fixture. Walls look like they're the same color. They use the same paint. Went cheap. All right, so we do have a little bit of baseboard right here And we got the laminate floor. So let's take that down. Let's go to our base trim section. Okay, we'll mask around the floor for the base trim. Tear out some baseboard, PF for the perimeter of the floor. And then baseboard 2 1/4. Then is this painted or is this a crappy stain? We'll call it stain. So let's make sure that this is stain grade just by putting a little plus at the end. And then stain and finish baseboard. There we go. Floor system. We'll apply microbial over the whole floor so it looks like it's in terrible shape. Rip out all the non-salvageable solid wood flooring and then replace it. Now there's probably that moisture barrier underneath it again, so we'll leave that in there. Boom. There we go. Now we got 2 door openings with trim. What about the window? Does that have trim or is it just an opening? Looks like trim. So we'll call this 17 for the door, 17 for the door, 14 for the window. Tear out trim, 48. We're going to replace. Now, here's where things, now this trim over the window is not stained, but the trim by the doors are. Oh, wait a minute, but look at this. This one, this door, the main door does not have trim. So let's be accurate here and get rid of that. Boom. So we're tearing out 31 linear feet of trim. We know it's linear feet because of this unit right here, the unit column. Now, here's the thing though. Some is stain grade, some is not. So let's Control C followed by V. Let's make 1 stain grade and 1 regular. The stain grade is 17. The regular is 14 for the window. Seal and paint casing, 14 for the window. Stain should be 17. Bam, there we go. Get rid of everything else. Beautiful. Now we want to change that ceiling fan. Is there a light fixture attached to it or is it just a fan? Got a little light bulb right here. So, ceiling fan and light. Already sitting waiting there for me. There we go. So whenever I'm replacing flooring through one room into the other, I do like to detach the door slab. There we go. And whenever I am kind of doing some preparation related work into a room, I like to add that little note in there. People love notes. You fill up your estimate with notes. It makes your estimate much better. But notes take time and they're a nuisance. So it's nice to have them preloaded. Okay, so that's that. Now we got the closet. Nothing of significance in the closet, but the flooring goes into the closet. So what I'll do, I'm just going to use these line items again. Copy the whole thing. Go over here. Boom. I'm going to leave these 2 in there. I'll leave that whole thing in there. Not doing anything on the walls, but we're still going to replace the flooring. But I really didn't get any water damage in there, so I'm not going to tear out the wood flooring as if it is water damage. It is damaged by water, so I'll get rid of these 2. Make this line item remove and replace. There you go. Get rid of the rest. There we go. And you know what? There's clothing in there. Cotton man amp. Give it a little bit of time to just get the clothing out. 15 minutes. Take the clothing out and put it back. Very good. Moving on. Here's this room. Little speck on the wall. Not even enough for me to really remove and replace it. But this inflated drywall tape, that will cause a little bit. So here's how we'll tackle that. Bedroom 2. Drop the macro in. First thing, content manipulation. There is some content, some contents in there. So I'll give them just an hour. Nothing crazy. I'm going to be painting the walls in here, and you have some blinds on there. Could you leave the blinds on there? Yeah, maybe. We'll leave it on. So get rid of everything else. All right. I will give them a little microbial. Nothing crazy. We've got that. All right, we'll give them a little bit of insulation on there. There is a line item that you could use just for drywall tape, but instead of using that line item, I'm just going to give them some fresh drywall. 8. 8. Hold on one second. Okay, we're going to take a 2-second break here. All right, this will be a good opportunity, guys. If you guys have any questions right now, we're going to be kicking back on in just a second. All right. Any questions? Let's hear it. Come on, guys. What you got? Give me something else to talk about. I got to get a dummy battery for this thing so it stops dying on me. All right, we're gonna get rolling back on in 2 seconds. Do you have any macros for sale? Sure do, my brother. Go over. Here's the thing. If you guys are watching this right now, we got an amazing transition going on right now. I have not done Xactimate training because to be honest with you, I don't like doing Xactimate training because I talk the whole time. I probably would have had this claim done 5 times already if I wasn't talking this whole time. But anyway, so we have a macro that's for sale at Adjuster University. Go check it out. The link is in the description of this video. Now, here's the thing, though. That's all we would sell is just this macro to help you out. And I put out some videos here and there of me using the macro. So, but what we're doing now, we're switching things up. I am tired of people asking me about Xactimate training. I've done the Xactimate training that's out there. There is no good Xactimate training for adjusters. There's not. There's a couple, don't get me wrong. There's some decent Xactimate training that's out there, but it's not really for adjusters. And it's expensive, and you got to go there. So we're going to do our own, and we're in the process of developing it. This video is a part of that. So we're going to have Xactimate training that's really 4 parts, really. We're going to have the macro for you to use. We're going to have our note system for you to use that you can import into your Xactimate. We're also going to have fundamental, proficiency, and mastery training. This is the same training, not the same, but this is the same type of training that you'll get from Xactware to get them prepared, to get you prepared for the level 3 certification, which is great. You understand Xactimate, you know how to use the different features that are on there, and you get to, be prepared to be able to put that level 3 certification in your resume. However, every adjuster, most adjusters, and certainly every IA firm knows that just because you're Xactimate level 3 certified doesn't mean you know how to write up a claim. That's just it. So what we're also going to do, in addition to that, is have scoping and estimating training. And that training is basically going to be what this has been so far. It's putting your photos together. It's doing your diagram. It's doing your estimate, looking at the photos and transcribing the damage that you're seeing on site into the estimate, and then helping you out with the report writing. In and out, creating files, all that sort of stuff. It's everything that an adjuster needs to know to use Xactimate. Not just what you need to know if you wanted to do a spiral staircase one day, or for some stupid reason, you got a 20, 30 facet roof and you're just too cheap to do an eagle view or something like that. So you have to learn how to do it yourself. I'm not going to teach you that. We'll teach you that in the fundamental thing to get you ready for the certification. But I don't care to teach you that stuff because that's not practical. What I want to teach you is how to build an estimate and get the most out of that estimate so that you can get paid most. How to put an estimate together, put a report together, put a photo report together, all that sort of stuff so that your manager, whoever is looking at that thing after you're done with it, they can look at it and say, wow, this person knows their shit. And we need to give this person more claims. This person's an asset in the field. We need to keep them on the CAT site. We need to keep this person. They're delivering an excellent product. That's what I want. I don't care what type of roof you can sketch. You can sketch a crazy roof. Good for you. I don't have time for that shit. What I want is the people that learn with me to learn how to put together fantastic estimates that are going to get the policyholder paid, estimates that are going to get you paid. So, long-winded way to say, jump over to adjusteruniversity.com. Look up. The link is in there. Go check it out. Use the coupon code. Get it for cheap. And what's good is that once you get that, if you get it right now, you have access to the macro. You can use it if you're out in Texas right now or whatever you're doing day claims. You can start using that right now. And we're going to give constantly update every time we get this stuff put together, a course or a lesson put together and uploaded to it. You're going to have access to that. You're going to have access forever. So a year from now, if you're looking to kind of tune up, maybe you haven't been working and you want to jump back on there, you can go in there, and by then everything should be done. We're trying to get this thing done before before spring, hopefully before spring, certainly before the end of spring. Let me switch this out real quick. Okay. All right. Any more questions before we get rolling? Guys, if you're watching this, share the love, baby. Share this thing. Share this to all the Facebook groups. Most of them I've been banned from. So make sure you drop it in there. All right, we're going to get rolling on this bad boy. Okay. So. Gil, kinda. I'm not using a GoPro, but yeah, I got to keep switching the batteries out. I got to get one of those dummy batteries that you could plug in to just keep it going. I had one that I never used, and I finally went to go use it for this, and it didn't. It wasn't working. So I'm 2 day shipping away from getting a new one. All right, so let's get this thing going. Okay. So giving them 8 feet of drywall on the ceiling, and that's what we're going to roll with. Get rid of these line items. Take us down to the masking on the floor. Listen, I mentioned this before. There is no floor covering on there. So would every single painter put something down on the floor if there's no floor in there? No. But would I, if I was doing this paint job? I would, because I'm not sloppy. Not only that, but what if the flooring guy comes in before the paint guy? So that's how I think. So I just, and listen, we're dealing with a line item here. Masking, $25. Come on. That's my opinion of the whole thing. Now, masking a light fixture, there's a light fixture up there. I didn't get a good shot. It's not a ceiling fan, so I'm just going to give it the base allowance there. Seal, 8. Paint the ceilings and walls because it's at the, where is it? It's right here, so I'm going to paint both. Okay. Now the floor here. Again, I'm looking at this. To me, it does not really look like there was any baseboard down here. So we're not going to put a baseboard. And this is one of the ones, listen, when I was inspecting this thing, I don't know how truthful the insured was being with what was there, what was removed by the other contractor. This is a claim that was a little bit messy, a little bit confusing. Not there to argue. Listen, if I can prove that you're lying, if I can prove that you're wrong, I'm gonna show it. I'm gonna show it in my report, and that's gonna make me look better from an investigative standpoint. But listen, if I think you're lying, if I think you're wrong, if I think you're full of shit, but I can't prove it, I can't prove it. I'm not gonna put my thoughts in my report. So that's a matter of that. If a desk adjuster comes back and they're like, hey, listen, was there really flooring in there? I'll be like, listen, I don't think there was, but I can't prove it. That's it. If they want to take it out, they can deal with it. They can do the deposition. Anyway, so laminate flooring. We're going to drop that laminate down. We're going to also include that vapor barrier. Bam, there we go. F for the floor. F for the floor. Boop. There we go. How are we looking on our door trims in this room? There really wasn't any, right? Oh, looks like they took this door trim out. Similar deal. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to get rid of all these line items. Here's why. I'm going to get rid of all of them because it looks like, I can't tell, looks like that this is removed on that side there. I'm just going to jump back over to the hallway. I'm essentially just doing the same thing. I'll take these line items, copy, use them right here. All right, there we go. Hopefully the audio doesn't pick up what's happening in the other room. All right, so here we go. All right, we got everything there. Closet, same deal. It's just laminate going in the closet. Listen, I'm going to jump over to this closet. I'm going to copy all these line items. I'm going to dump them in there. And I'm going to take this detach and reset door slab out because obviously that doesn't apply. And I'm going to switch these remove and replace to just replace. That's it. That's all I'm going to do right there. Moving on to bedroom 3. Bedroom 3 had this shoddy looking repair here. All right, a little bit on the walls, right? Very similar, very, very similar to what we did in the other bedroom. So I'll jump in bedroom 2, copy those line items, dump them in, okay? I call this recycling line items. Try to do it as much as you can. I'm going to bump this up just because I don't want to give them 8 in bedroom 2 with that minor damage and give them the same amount in this room that has justifiably a little bit more. So I'm just going to bump this up to 16. Okay. Now this light fixture is a ceiling fan. So I'm not going to give them the regular. I'm going to bump this up to a larger Nate. Bump this up to 16. Keep this as it is. All right. What's our floor situation like? All right. That's it. Boom. So I didn't take a good picture of the floor, but the floor situation was the same. So replace, replace. Does not look like there was any door trim there. I'm going to get rid of all this. What I will do is detach and reset that door slab. Boom. There we go. So let me jump back to this room here. I'm going to do to make sure I got that detach and reset of that door slab as well. There we go. Good time to jump back. Okay. So back in this room, I didn't take a picture of the closet, but I can just anticipate that it's probably about the same. So let me drop those same line items in. Little content manipulation for the stuff that's in there. Drop the new flooring down. Beautiful. Now let's go to that bedroom 4. This is bedroom floor. A little bit of water damage to the ceiling. Nothing crazy. A little bit on the wall there. Okay. And flooring is missing. So again, let's recycle. All right. Let's keep our estimates green. We'll go to bedroom 3. Copy these in. Drop them in. Okay. Now what? We got a little bit on the ceiling. We got a little bit on the wall here. Again, I'll keep it 16 altogether, but I'm going to replace 8 feet on the ceiling. And I'm going to replace 8 feet on the wall. That's it. Could the wall just be a little bit of drywall tape? Yeah, it could be. But you know what? I'm just going to give them drywall. It's not that big of a difference. And that's going to be a much broader scope. We're masking the floor. Is there a light fixture in here? There's a light fixture, but it's a little guy. Bring this back down. Seal 16 square feet. Paint the walls and ceilings 2 coats. But this room's a little different. What's different about this room? Correct answer is the walls are certainly a different color from the ceiling. So I'm going to jump over to this line item. And at the end of this P2, I'm just going to put a plus sign that gives it 2 colors, and that jumps up the price. Floor. We're going to drop that floor down. Door trim. Doesn't look like there's any door trim. So we're going to leave that. Now, one thing I want to mention, generally speaking, now this is a big thing where I smell a little bit of what should be considered soft fraud. Now, they said that the flooring runs continuously into this room, that the contractor removed the flooring. Now, what I notice here is this baseboard. This baseboard is nicely secured against this tile floor. So if that laminate floor went on there, it would have, which it could have, it would have went over this baseboard, which is fine. But over time, you're going to be able to see a line here because one part of this baseboard is going to be much dirtier than the other. There is no line. This to me suggests that there was no laminate in this room. But again, given the circumstances of this claim, I don't think it would be very good for me to point the finger and say that there was no evidence that would suggest it. I'm just going to leave it in and note it in my report. Now, of course, if they want me to remove that, if the carrier wants me to remove that, that's fine. So that will clean up our second floor. So we've got that done. Now, this area here, the contractor said that this area was damaged and they had to do something there. Listen, the very first time we walked up the steps, they said something about the staircase. I had brushed it off right now, kind of gave them a weird look, and we went on with the inspection. After we got done with all the other rooms, we went back there. And at that point, he said, I don't really know if it was really related. I said, sounds good to me. So that moves us. Oh, so here we go. Door openings. All right, this door opening doesn't look like it really had anything to worry about. Or maybe it did. All right, so here's what we could do here. This is to bedroom 3. This one is to 4. So we're already detaching and resetting. Look at door opening. It's really not severely damaged. This is just the door stop. Let's see here what we could do. Honestly, give them a general line item there. Let's drop our divider in just to keep our estimates consistent. Just like that. Boom, boom. Now I want to leave a little note with this. I'm going to give them half an hour. That's going to shake out to, 26 bucks. That's more than enough to buy a new piece here. I'm going to double click on this little notepad that brings this up. I'm going to put includes labor to repair the door opening. Kind of a throwaway line item. There we go. I'm going to take both these, copy them. I'm going to do the same thing for 3. And I feel like this is about to crash. Is it coming? Is it coming? We have a sudden freeze up. Let's see. All right. Xactimate has my Xactimate has suddenly stopped. So we're gonna let it figure out what it wants to do with its life before we go forward. If you guys are watching this right now, drop a question in real quick if you want. While I wait for this thing to either crash, or do something. Yeah. Yeah, you could definitely tell sometimes when they're lying to, when facts just don't add up. So I know this right now. I've got a lot of things running right here, so it's not surprising. My Xactimate's been acting up, and I really should have gotten it checked out before I did this. Been having issues just opening up projects. It just takes forever to open. Doesn't help that I've been at this one particular thing for so long. All right, we'll give this another minute. Hopefully it just kind of starts like last time. Anyway, guys, share this. Share this. We're doing Xactimate live, baby. I was hoping to get started with this a little bit earlier in the day and just do like an all-day thing. Fortunately, it didn't shake out like that. But we're about at 2 hours right now. 2 hours working on the same claim. But I should have a decent little thing. I think this will shake out to about 35,000. Could be wrong. That might be a little much. We'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, come on, bud. Part of the reason why I'm taking so long is I don't want to just cut my losses here and shut it down and then go back in, because if I shut it down and I lose part of this progress because of this class, I'm gonna have to. Here we go. Start from wherever it started. So, all right, here we go. Save. Hopefully, we don't have to deal with that again. Oh man, that sucks about that. Sorry, Gil. Do you use shift key to highlight line items? Same deal as like the photos, man. And I'll do this real quick. Yeah, I use shift if I want to highlight consecutive items, or I use control if I want to cherry pick them, like that. All right. Okay, so we drop that into bedroom 3. We're looking good there. Save before anything bad happens, and we're gonna move on. Here we go. All right, so quick scope. Water damage to the ceiling, right? Goes over. Got a pretty large area here. Goes over to the wall. Is the wall damaged? No. But comes all the way to the wall. I'll paint the walls. Okay, that's our quick scope. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm going to recycle. Use these bad boys. Drop them into the foyer. Oh no. It's taking a long time to paste. We may need to do a quick shutdown and go back in. It's life right here. Okay. All right. We're going to give this a second. And once this pastes in, I'm at least going to shut this down. I'm going to do save and exit, close Xactimate, jump back in, and then we're going to go from there. Hopefully things are a little bit better on the other side of that. So guys, if you're watching this right now, leave a comment. Where are you guys chiming in from? You guys at home? You guys in Texas? Are you even an adjuster? Let me know what's going on. You have any questions about the way we've been scoping this so far? Let me know. If you just don't feel like saying anything, then man, just take a little break here, grab a drink, and again, show your support. Follow us on YouTube, Adjuster University, and follow us on Facebook. Join the Claims Adjuster Success Network. Which, man, if you guys are watching from the Success Network, I want to just say that, man, I tell you, like Facebook groups in general get such a bad rap for and the reasons they do. Here we go. And the reasons they do are so justified because there's so much negativity in those Facebook groups. I mean, it's some of the worst. It's like the worst place you could imagine to get invited to be new and to go in there. Whew. All right, let's hope that we get a little bit better here. Maybe in a week. I might be there in a week too, man. Let's see. Okay, let's try this again. Fingers crossed, everybody. All right, here we go. We got our line items in. So we're going to do the same thing that we did before. We're just going to edit now. We got a little bit more water damage here. So I don't need any content manipulation. I don't need any detach reset door. I'm going to just replace half the ceiling. Boom. Now we don't have any insulation. Get rid of that. Change these to the ceiling. Half the ceiling. C for ceiling divided by 2. Okay. You might not have went to school for math, but you can figure that one out on your own. Okay. We're not masking any light fixtures. What are we priming? Half the ceiling. What are we painting? Now, here's what I want to look at here. Are these two separate colors? Here's what I see, because I from a painter's perspective, this wall has a high gloss. This ceiling does not. Good enough for me. That's 2 different paint buckets. Bam, 2 colors. Now, there's no laminate floor, so that's different, but, and you can tell just by looking at this, you got plaster debris impacted in there. So I'll just clean the tile floor. Bam, beautiful. I think that's it. There's our room. Oh, what I will do, this is a pretty bulky blind right there. Detached blind. Throw it in there, right? Seems reasonable enough. Okay. Now I won't add for the tile, I won't add a regrout or anything like that. A contractor may say that should be done or something like that. When it's just plaster debris like that, I mean, that stuff could be cleaned. Now, if it was sewage, maybe you can make a case for a regrout, you know, or if it was, you know, heavily impacted, maybe, but by debris because of a fire or something like that. Yeah, maybe. Or if it was just a big area and it was just heavily impacted, maybe you could do a recolor. But this little area right here, I know that if I put recolor the grout, much less regrout, that's probably going to get rejected. So I won't even take that chance. Okay, so we've got that done. Moves us into the living room, a little bit on the ceiling, a little bit on the wall. That's it. So let's think. What other room did we have a little bit on the ceiling, a little bit on the wall? I think it was this guy right here. Am I right? Let's recycle these line items. Dump them in. Content manipulation, I'll give them 2 hours in here. There's no door that we're going to be messing around with. We'll leave this at 16. There's no insulation. We'll get rid of the insulation. Okay, we're switching out the drywall. We're going to mask a larger light fixture. Boom. And there we go. 2 colors. Is there 2 colors here? It looks a little bit more likely, maybe not. We'll set it back down to just 1. Usually you could tell, but it really doesn't look like that here. Now, I'm not going to do anything about the floor because there really wasn't enough water damage to the ceiling to really indicate that anything even happened to the floor. So that's it. Now we're going to be painting the walls, but we have that big bulky blind right there. So I'm going to detach blind. We'll put that in there. Now what I will also do, you see this window right here? It's a window opening, okay? I'm going to paint window opening 2 coats. There we go. Drop that in, get rid of this line. There we go. I want to take a look at this, the big window. Is that another big window opening or is it cased? This looks like it is cased, so won't do anything there. Okay, now what you could do if you want to get technical, you got a big masonry wall right here. That does take up an incredible amount of space. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to jump back over to our sketch. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to drop this in right here. Seems to be about 12, something like that. Put it right here. Call it masonry wall 8 feet up. There we go. Now we're just a little bit more exact. Usually I don't like to get too crazy with, you know, those sort of blocks, but this does take up a pretty large area, so we'll do it. Okay, kitchen time. Now things get a little bit different here. We have a textured ceiling. We have laminate floor that needs to be removed and replaced. That laminate floor, there is baseboard here. We got cabinet damage. So let's utilize our macro. Let's go to our kitchen folder and let's dump this stuff in. Okay. Do we need content manipulation? Sure, not a whole lot, because we're going to be utilizing other line items as well. So we'll bring that down. What else should we be doing in here? What will we need to get out of the way in order for us to repair the ceiling, replace the floor, and fix the cabinets? What should be out of our way? The range. Should the range get out of our way? We don't need the range to paint or texture the ceiling. We don't really need to move the range to fix the cabinets right here. But we will need to get underneath it. So we're going to remove and reset that. The refrigerator. Where is it? We're going to need to move that to paint behind it. We're going to need to get underneath it. So that's 2 things we're getting out of the way. Was that range gas or electric? Electric. So let's just make sure that we're not detaching and resetting a gas range. It's an easy catch. It's a little bit less money, but we're going to do it. Okay, so we've got that. Let's move on down. Okay, so ceilings and walls. What's our ceiling damage look like? It's just this little thing right here. Could it even be a leak from the skylight right next door? Maybe, but it's also underneath an area of water damage to the 2nd floor. Again, it's not worth the fight. So let's do, now here's what we'll do here, because now we have this texture. And I want to make sure that you're aware, if you don't have very much construction knowledge, there is no way that you are going to be able to retexture this ceiling in a small area and make it so that it all blends together. This should be common sense. However, insurance companies don't always exercise common sense. So in this case, we're just going to exercise that common sense. We're going to get ready to remove 8 feet of wet drywall, replace 8 feet of drywall, but we don't want drywall that's ready for paint. We're going to change this over to ready for texture just by putting a little minus sign there. Okay. Now what do we do next? We're going to find some line items that aren't in the macro. What we're going to do first, we're just going to apply a skim coat over everything that's there. See. So that just gives it a flat appearance. Now with that flat appearance, we're also then going to do a light hand texture. And that's what gives us the swirls. There we go. Very good. That's all we need. We're going to mask the floor. We are going to seal the whole ceiling after we put that skim coat on there. And is there anything that would suggest we need to paint the walls? No, there's not. So we just paint the ceiling. Okay. Now, we take that down. Now, we have laminate wood flooring that goes beneath the baseboard. See it right here. So we need to do something about that. So we need to pop that baseboard off. And we're going to need to get under it. Now, when we pop the baseboard off, as a standard, I always just paint it. So we're going to mask around the bottom. We're going to detach and reset the perimeter of the floor with all the baseboard. And we'll just paint it one coat. Let's give a fresh coat on there. That's because we're doing a good job. And what I'll actually also do, I'm going to copy these two line items here, Control C. And I'm going to drop them right above the texture line items. I'm going to change PF to PC for the perimeter of the ceiling. I'm going to change this masking of the upper walls in preparation to texture the ceiling. Okay, there we go. Now what you could do before you put that skim coat on, I've seen it. Other people will put in their estimate to scrape everything off. I'm not going to say that I've never done that, but it's just not very realistic because you can just apply a skim coat over it and it'll be just as fine. So we've got that. So that moves us. Now again, I just wanted, the great thing about this, the macro, is that you can go through rooms in a systematic approach. So we just did our ceilings and walls. Then that moves us to the floor system. So then we immediately start thinking about the floor. What are we doing on the floor? We're removing and replacing the laminate wood. I'm going to do a microbial over half the floor. I'm going to tear out the wet, non-salvageable wood. Now, my general rule of thumb here is if less than half of the room has water damage, okay, if half of what you're estimating is less than half is damaged by water, then I will not use this water line item. I will just use the standard removal. If it's half or more, then I will exercise that. Okay, so F, I'm going to assume just like the second. Oh, let me fix something real quick. Oh, here we go. Okay, start that again. Now I'm going to assume that the first floor also has that same moisture barrier underneath the laminate as the second floor did. So we're going to estimate that the same way. There we go. Now we're replacing the floor. Move this over to the doors and windows. Now, because I am painting that baseboard, I will paint whatever is continuous with it. So we have that double door right here and a single door right there. So 17 for the single door, 20 for the double. One coat. That's it. Okay, so bring this down. Now we're up to the vanity and the cabinetry line items. So here is what I do for the cabinets. First of all, before we go any further, we did forget one thing on the ceiling, these light fixtures. Looks like we've got 4 light fixtures all together up there. I'm not going to detach and reset these light fixtures. But to be honest, yes, I am. Now, sometimes carriers won't like you to detach and reset light fixtures, so I use that line item. Oops, I don't want that. I use the line item very sparingly. Oftentimes, I will only use an allowance to mask them, even if I know more likely than not it's going to be removed by the person doing it. My general rule of thumb is if you're only doing paint, you don't need to do it. But if you are doing some sort of drywall repair, include the line item in there. That being said, doesn't always fly with everyone. So just be careful. So we're going to detach and reset those 4 light fixtures. Beautiful. Now, with the cabinets, here's what I do with the cabinets. Cabinets become a big thing. Oh my gosh, my cabinets aren't going to match. Do you owe to match? Depending on what state you are, you may not owe, the insurance company may not owe to match. So here's the way I approach that thing. These cabinet boxes right here, this is what I will be replacing, and it's inherently going to be different from everywhere else. So now I don't want to replace everything that's on there. That is an easy rejection by most insurance companies, obviously depending on where you're from. So where I'm from, here's my little workaround. I will replace what is damaged, okay? 4.5 feet of upper cabinets. There we go. Now I will now reface the remaining cabinets, not to match. Most of the time that M word, it's very sketchy. You don't want to match. But I'm going to do that so we can maintain a reasonably uniform appearance. Okay, so we're going to look at, now with that being said, we are going to look at the linear feet of everything that's in there. It's where we may end up taking like a little pad here and just writing down what we've got. So we've got 4.5 feet on the base right there. And then we have 4.5 feet over there, 4.5 feet over there. Okay, so 4.5 feet times 3. Okay, that brings, so we've got that plus, 2.5 over the range. And we have our cabinets over there. Call that 2 feet, 2 feet. That's another 4. And then the length here, we brought that out to how much? 6. And then lastly, I know I've got one more sitting around here somewhere. This little guy right here, call it 3. Now they're all approximately 3 feet in height. So here's what we'll do. We'll go to this line item here. 3 feet times, that's 3 feet for the height. 1.5 plus 1.5 plus, or 4.5 plus 4.5, 2.5 plus 4, 6 plus 3. Didn't go through. Let's try that one more time. Okay, so we're going to do 3 times 4.5 plus 4.5 plus 4.5 plus 3 plus 2.5 plus 4 plus 6 plus 3. And parenthesis, boom, 96 square feet. Seems about right. That adds this much to the cabinet repair. So you could do you may not be able to replace all of them for that amount, but you can get some work done and make them make sense. All right, that's how you get that close. If you're working with an insurance company that doesn't want you to do that because they only want to pay for what's damaged, then fine, you take it out. All right, so that is everything right there. Get rid of. We don't need any electrical, plumbing, or any of that sort of work. No appliances are being replaced, so there we go. Got a nice little jump right there. Okay, so got a little light fixture right there, but we're not really painting that anyway. So that brings us into this dingy place. Okay, so we're going now. Here's where scraping really becomes a thing. I don't know why this room is so yellow. So this one's going to be a little sketchier. So let's just dump a new set of line items in here. Okay. Taking a little long to dump these in again. All right. Wait for a second. Hopefully no problem with this one. Usually I don't keep Xactimate open for this long. All right. Come on, come on. All right. Any questions, everybody? Any questions? What we got going on? All right. Thoughts on scraping, remaining, sealing, and then retexture? I caught that question while I was doing it. Try to answer that one live. Same goes with the regrout. Man, come on. All right. We'll let this do its thing. All right. Who's with me? Where are you guys coming in from? Who's sticking in? All right. Here we go. Okay. Our line items are in. So quick scope. Here's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be detaching and resetting all these wire shelves. This right here, this is not an access door. This is just a piece of drywall. So I'm not really going to do much special about that. I'm going to go ahead and replace this trim. I'll just replace the whole ceiling with that. And I'm going to just go ahead too and replace a little bit of this stuff right here, this paint. Now, the room itself, it looks like this thing's been textured, a couple different ways. So I'm not worried about making sure that the texture matches because it already doesn't match. So a little bit of content manipulation in there. I'm going to get rid of the rest of these line items. And I'm going to add in the line item for the wire shelving in just a couple minutes. So microbial, I'm going to give them C plus 4. That's the entire ceiling plus a little bit extra. All right, so next, I'm going to rip out drywall. I'm going to rip out 4 plus C. I'm going to replace 5/8 of an inch on the ceiling and 4 on the walls. Now, I've got a splitting feeling that this ceiling, it looks old, that it's not 5/8, but you know what? Can't prove it, and that's the general rule of thumb, so I'm going to go with my general rule of thumb. I'm going to mask the floor. No light fixture. I'm not going to seal anything. Okay, now we're going to seal what is new right here. Bam. We're going to get ready to paint everything. We're going to actually not use this line item. I'm going to dig in here there's another line item for sealing paint, texture sealing. Or not acoustic, seal and texture paint. Let me just check to make sure what this line item means. Sealer, paint with texture additive. That's not what I want. So I'm just going to go back. SP or P2. That's fine. Okay, so before I finish everything out, there's no baseboard down here. So I'm going to get rid of all these line items. All right, I'm going to add to this right here. I'm going to fix these up because I want these both to be ready for texture. Okay. I'm adding a line item right below that so I don't have to click and drag. And I just did that by highlighting the line item, holding control down, hitting the letter C, and then hitting the letter V. That copies and pastes another line item because from there, it's in this same dry category. I'll just go and look for heavy hand texture. That's it. C, I'll put +4, move it down right here. Good enough. So the floor is only half there. I'm going to remove and replace half the floor. Bring it down. There we go. Boom. Same goes with the moisture, the vapor barrier, replacing half the floor. Okay, so there's no door. Don't need to worry about that. That's everything we want. Actually, there is a door. There is that access door. I'm going to consider that a door. Here's what we're going to do. Use these line items and drop them in right there. How many linear feet is this thing? Probably call it 2, 2, 2, 2. So 8. I'm going to mask around that 8. Tear out trim. Use the bag for disposal, sure. Casing. Seal paint casing. We'll get rid of this. Take our line items, drag them where they should be. Reorganize a little bit. And this should be 8, 8, 8. Beautiful. Now, we'll do detach wire shelving. There we go. Let's see if we can get a feel for wire shelving. Looks like it might be close to the edge. So for this case, how many rows of wire shelving? We have 3 rows of wire shelving. So here's what we'll do. LL means the length of the long wall. So LL times 3. There we go. Move that into position. There we go. There's our closet. Let's move over to the hallway. There's no damage to the dining room. My apologies. There's no damage to the dining room. There's no damage to this hallway. The only significance that either of these rooms have is that they have flooring that's continuous with an affected area. That affected area being the kitchen. So here's what we'll do. We'll use these line items in the kitchen. Oh. Here we go. Oh, that was almost a mistake. So we'll copy these line items in the kitchen. Let's jump over to the dining room. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to give them an hour here. Oh, looks like this line item is missing a quantity. So let's go, before we go any further, let me jump back to the kitchen. Make sure that 1 is in there. If you miss a quantity, that's fine. Once you get done with your estimate, it's going to tell you that you missed it and to fill it in. All right, so we're going to give them an hour. The only thing we're going to do about the walls is manipulate that baseboard. Those are our line items right there. We're going to seal or mask the lower wall, detach and reset the baseboard, and paint the baseboard. Floor system. There's no water damage, so we're just going to use the standard line items. Bam. Now, how many cased door openings do we want to account for here? So there's no casing around the door opening to the kitchen, no case door opening going into the dining. Oh, this is the, this is the hallway. Let's go to the dining room. This is the dining room here. Looks like we have a case opening going into that hallway. I believe that is hallway 3, and that's it. We also have this casing right here. So this is about 7 feet up, 2.5 that way. So about, call it 10 feet there, and then 17 feet right there. 1017. So we're going to paint 1017. Same thing. Now, here's the thing. We're painting the baseboard because we're manipulating the baseboard. We're painting the door casing because it's continuous with the baseboard. What else is continuous with the baseboard and the casing? This chair rail right here. So let's add a little extra for the chair rail. We jump over to either one of the rooms. We have line items here for chair rail. So we're going to mask the chair rail, and we're just going to paint one coat. Here we go. And there it is. Beautiful. We want to actually make this the same calculation, PF, for the floor. PC would be good if it's the crown molding, because the crown molding usually goes unobstructed throughout the perimeter. So we got our chair rail paint. We got our baseboard paint. We're replacing the floor. We're painting the cased door openings, and we don't need any of this stuff. So there is our room already. Now that moves us over to this hallway. There's no cased opening going into the kitchen, no cased opening going into the dining room. There is a cased opening going into the bathroom right here that's on the other side of this wall, and this back room right here. And we also have this little curio, or whatever you want to call it. So we'll use the same line items again. We'll reduce the content manipulation just a wee bit. We're going to get rid of the chair rail stuff because there's no chair rail inside this room. We're going to leave the baseboard stuff because there is a baseboard. We're going to remove and replace the flooring. We're going to change this allowance to 17 plus 17 for the 2 standard door openings. And then we're done with this room. Now, here we are in the hallway. Now, here's this crazy texture ceiling again. So where did we have this textured ceiling before? In the kitchen closet. So let's jump over to the kitchen closet. Let's copy these line items and let's dump it in. All right, do we need any content manipulation? No, we don't. So we can get rid of that. We don't have wire shelving, but we have flooring that goes through a doorway. So I will detach a door slab. Move that into position. Now, as far as water damage goes, this is a very small area. So let's just give them 4. 4. 4. Now, this texture in this area looks way better than the texture in that ceiling. So here's where we will scrape and prep for paint. Just the ceiling. It's all I'm worried about right now. Not going to do the whole ceiling. We're only going to do what we're keeping, which is C minus 4. Because we already replaced 4 square feet of the ceiling, drywall, and we're going to scrape the rest down. Then we're going to retexture the whole ceiling. Then from there, we're going to make sure that we are texturing the whole ceiling, because now we've got new resealing the whole ceiling, because now we got new texture. And then we're going to seal and paint, or paint the ceiling and the walls, so everything all makes sense and looks beautiful. Now, what we do have here also is a light fixture, this big thing dangling here. So let's mask a light. Put this into position. Okay, now our flooring. Now, the flooring in here is a little bit different. Now, we have laminate, but we don't have just baseboard. We have a quarter round. That's this little piece right here. Now, when that quarter round is there, we don't need to do anything about the baseboard anymore, because we just need to get underneath the quarter round. Here's how we're going to do that. Let's jump over to our macro line items. And here's our base trim. We're still going to mask, but here's our quarter round. We're going to seal and paint the new quarter round, and then we're going to paint the baseboard just one measly coat. Let's jump back over to the hallway. Let's dump our line items in where they should go. PF for the perimeter of the floor. Now we're done. The flooring. Half the floor sounds good for microbial, but I will replace all the flooring. F F. Case door openings. How many case door openings do we have? We have 1, 2. That's it. 17 plus 17 equals 34. We're not going to tear out anything. We're going to switch 2 coats to just the 1 coat. Now it's 34. Now we're done with hallway 3. Okay, let's see. Okay, we've got that. Now we're moving on to the bedroom. What do we got going on in the bedroom? Very minor damage to the ceiling, very minor damage to the wall. Okay? It's not textured. Let's think about it. Let's go over to the where do we have something similar? In the foyer, right? Well, not even so much in the foyer. The foyer was a little bit different, but upstairs in bedroom 2, what did we have? A little bit on the ceiling, a little bit on the walls. Let's use this. Copy these line items, recycling them. Dump them on there. Content manipulation. We got some contents in here. We got stuff that's going to need to be moved around. So I'm going to give them 3. Oh, I'm going to give them 3 hours of content manipulation. Boom, boom, boom. I'm going to get rid of the insulation, but I'm going to keep everything else. Still going to treat the drywall the same. Masking of the light fixture. We got a big light fixture here. So I'm going to make sure that I bump that up. Now, we also have drapery in this room. I want to get rid of that drapery because I'm painting the walls. Detached drapes. Drapery. 2 of them. Move that up here. Okay, so we're painting the walls 2 colors. Remember, this is 2 colors. Now, look at the baseboard and the flooring. What's that look like? We got another quarter round here. Where did we do that with the quarter round? Only 1 other room in the house. And that's the hallway 3. So let's just steal these line items. Now, truthfully speaking, it's only a small area of actually water damage flooring that I saw. So I'm going to change this microbial to 16. I'm going to get rid of this water category line item, and I'm going to switch this one over to remove and replace. There we go. Now, just like the other room, we are going to we're going to paint the cased openings. We'll steal these line items, dump them right in here. Now, what do we have? We have the door that's going in. We have the 1 closet door. And then we have a double door that's slightly smaller. That's 19. There we go. 53. 53. Last but not least, we have the closets. No water damage in the closets. We just have contents. We just have the flooring. So I'll go ahead and take all these line items again. I'm going to dump this one here. I'm going to give them just a wee little bit of content manipulation there. Detach and reset 2 door slabs. I'm going to, although I can't see, I'm going to assume that just like its parent room. Oh, wait a minute. Did I make a little error? Oh, one thing that I missed, let me go back, is the line items for the base trim. So let's go to hallway 3. Highlight these guys. Make sure that they find a home in here. There we go. Already set up for us. Let's jump over to the closet. Let's do the same thing. Bam. There we go. Now, let's go back. Let's start from the beginning in here. A little bit of content. Detaching and resetting 2 door slabs. We don't need to mask the floor. We don't need to mask a light fixture. We're not painting the walls. Let's get rid of that. We're just going to play around with the base trim. No evidence of water damage to the flooring, so I'm going to get rid of that. But we are going to replace the floor because it's continuous with the affected parent room. And there's no trim on the inside, so we'll get rid of that. And this is the exact same scope that we're going to deal with in this one. Boom. There we go. Last but not least, debris removal. We've got a fair amount of debris throughout the second floor and on the first floor. So I'm going to give them a little dump truck guy. All right, that should be enough right there. I might even squeeze in 1.5. Okay, save that. I highlight my folder here. I delete that. We are just about done with this estimate. The next thing I'm going to do is apply a pretty modest depreciation here. So we've got that. Now, because we use a six-figure macro, this is basically another estimate that was made. We always go to project, go to reprice, and just reprice that to make sure everything makes sense. All right. So from there, we would just apply our depreciation. Depreciation would be applied differently based on whatever carrier you are working with. This one, it's pretty easy. So I'm going to apply depreciation on here of 7.5 years on the second floor. We don't need to go crazy with figuring out when the drywall was installed and stuff like that. Try to stay as minimal as possible. 5 years on the first floor. Okay, and that is it. So we're done here. Now on this particular estimate, I did not use any single line item minimum labor charges like that. Instead, I use the automatic labor minimums. Take a look at them. Likely not going to need a hazardous waste person coming in. Likely not going to use a floor cleaning person to clean up tile flooring, and likely not going to farm out insulation. So we're going to leave that as it is. Let's go to our loss recap. And what did I say earlier? About $30,000? Almost to the button. $30,000 claim. So that's it right there. About $6,000 in depreciation, and probably could go a little bit lighter on the second floor. But that's a wrap. We went through everything. We put together 2 full floor plans. Wrote an estimate for 2 full floor plans and got a $30,000 estimate out of the deal. So really depends who you're working with, but generally speaking, you can make a couple bucks off this one particular estimate. So hope everybody learned a thing or two during that workshop. All right, we are done, my friends. All right, let me end this. All right, who's still with me after all that? That's what I want to know. Who's still hanging in there? Hey, you got it. So that's a wrap. I'll tell you what, man, I really wanted to get started with this thing early so I could just be doing estimates all day long and just kind of, I had about 4 lined up. So I wanted to do 4 all throughout the day, all large losses, and just be dropping line items all day long. But I got a super late start of the day, so that was not happening, and it seems like it wasn't going to be even possible anyway, because I'm on my last battery for this little dude right here. So I am going to GTFO, if you know what that means, in just a couple minutes. So if anybody has any questions, drop them in right now, and give it like another minute. And if you guys don't have any questions, I'm cool with that. But if you do, let me know. And just for what it's worth, too, I'm not trying to toot my own horn on this. This live feed is approaching 3 hours long. If I was doing this on my own, man, an hour, I think, to be truthful, I probably would have got this thing done in about an hour. All right, I'll give you like another minute. Again, if you have any questions, hope you guys enjoyed this. I know the other ones, this is actually the smaller one on of the ones that I got lined up. Other ones would probably take me, if I do something similar to this, a long time. Any recommendations on negotiating fee schedules? Yeah, man. Not very many people do it. So for that reason, your success is going to be hit or miss. If you're working with a large, first of all, the actual fee schedule itself, you're not going to negotiate. That's usually already set with whatever carrier that is. So that's kind of set in stone. What you can negotiate is your percentage, 100%. I have that being said, I've gotten 100% before. It's not, I did it a long time ago. Um, and I think I only did it because I knew that the IA firm was in a tough spot to get this claim handled, and I didn't really like the fee scale. So I said that I would handle it, but it would have to be at 100%. And they needed it handled. They said fine, because at the end of the day, that IA firm, they have an obligation, right, to an insurance carrier. Um, so so sometimes they'll give it out. They'll take a very small hit to satisfy the need of a client that they have. I did that once. Actually, I think I might have did it a second time, but I don't do it anymore. I don't go after it anymore. If I get a fee scale that comes in and it's just not in line with what, and they need work. They want me to get out there. They need my help, and it just does not line up with what I'm doing these days. I may do one just to, get in their good graces. Because if they do get a better client somewhere down the line, the idea being that they'll remember me, and maybe that fee schedule is going to be a little bit different. Otherwise, I have said to them that, in order for me to handle this claim, I would need to ask for at least 80% of the fee. And that being said, I do not expect you to, assign this to me. That's in the extreme cases. But on the smaller cases, what I normally do, and again, this doesn't always work with everybody. So I try to keep like a kind of like a revolving door of companies that I work with. As companies come in, if they have, I have a set amount of hours that I'm looking to work per week normally. So I want to fill up those hours with the best clients possible. So once those hours really get filled up with the clients that I do have, that's when I continue to look for new people to work with. But once I find them, if they have work and they are better than the worst paying company that I have, and that's a whole different thing to gauge. But I'll bump off the low man on the totem pole there if they are not willing to bump up my percentage to a number that will keep them competitive. So I have now on the very easy end, if you're working for 60%, if you've been working for them for a while, I think it should be easy to get to 65% just by telling them, hey, listen, I've been handling claims. Hey, like go to your manager and just be like, hey, listen, I've been handling claims with you guys for a while. I really enjoy working with you. I've gotten an opportunity to work with another firm that pays slightly better, but rather than just taking their work on at the detriment to your claims, I just want to know if it would be possible if I could bump up from 60 to just 65. That would make the biggest difference in my claims handling. I could stay here. I could feel good about the claims and that I'm handling right now and not feel any regret about passing up on this other company. Is that something that's possible? The smaller the company is, the greater likelihood you'll have to actually getting that 60% to 65%. You may even get 70%. I know Royal Adjusting Services with Jason Heenan, they pay like 75%, something crazy. It really comes down to just the company and how much importance, this is kind of sad to say, but how much importance they have to their field staff. Listen, there's no question that most independent adjusters suck. Like, it's terrible. All you need to do is do a little bit of time as a desk adjuster to know that most independent adjusters are terrible. All right. I mean, I've done desk claims. I still run some desk claims. And if you got to assign an IA out there, I mean, it's hit or miss. Most of the time it's a miss. But as an independent, if you're an independent, that's great, because then you've got the bar's low. You've got an opportunity, a very easy opportunity to be better than everybody else that's out there. So as long as you can be better than everybody else that's out there, and really deliver a great product, most companies are going to see that, and they'll be happy to give you that extra 5%, maybe even put you up to 70. But unfortunately, some companies, IA firms, are not focused on that. They're not focused on having the best quality people that are out there, and kind of are enabling this terrible, reputation that IAs have. Anyway, that's the longest possible way I can answer that question for you. Do you reallocate the trades per line items? I mostly don't. Because sometimes I know, like, I think Liberty or a couple other like big names, they want you to, reallocate those trades. The vast majority of companies do not instruct you to do that. And once you do start doing that, if you're going to be submitting that claim through Exact Analysis, you'll get a deviation hit on that. They'll be able to tell that you played around with the line items a little bit, and that could just be a little bit problematic. So I don't. A while back, I think during Irma, I discovered the roofing thing where you could reallocate the tear-off roofing line item to RFG rather than DMO. And the rationale behind it is that, well, listen, the people that are going to be replacing the roof are the same people that are going to be tearing it off. You're not going to get a demo crew to go out there and tear it off. And I mean, absolutely, that makes complete friggin' sense to me. The flip side of that is that it bumps those estimates up big time. Like so much so that the cost to put shingles on a roof are comparable to the cost to take them off. And during Irma, if you're getting paid like you're replacing a $20,000 roof, you're going to make $1,000 off it. I drank that Kool-Aid a little bit, but I don't make it a point to do that stuff. Anyway, all right, so that's a wrap. I'm gonna get to another one. Hopefully do another one of these like tomorrow. So guys, if you're watching this, make sure subscribe to the YouTube channel so you get a little push notification every time that we do these little live things. Make sure you're a member of the Claims Adjuster Success Network. Make sure you're following the Facebook page. And for God's sakes, jump over to justuniversity.com and get in on the Xactimate Gold training. It's beta right now. If you buy it right now, you'll get access to the macro that I've been using through this training. We're also going to be putting the no time notes for Xactimate on there too. These are pre-written. Here, I'll just show you right now. These are notes that if you're handling a claim that uses Xactimate's activity report, things are a little bit different here. It's way better. It's insanely better. I always drop this guy in there. Boom. That's my number. Please don't call. And then we're going to be putting 2 big pieces of training on there. That's going to be freaking awesome. One thing is the most common training that you'll get anywhere else, just with, my little pizzazz to it. And that is fundamental training, proficiency training, and mastery training. This is a training that's going to get you ready for the Xactimate Level 3 certification, because that's like Starbucks. It's what America wants, right? Level 3 certification. Then after you get ready for the Level 3 certification, you get the Level 3 certification, you're able to add something on your resume that says that you know a thing or two about Xactimate. But make no mistake, you don't know how to handle claims. You don't know how to estimate claims. You don't know how to turn in a claim file. You just have an Xactimate Level 3 certification. You can make a spiral staircase. Congratulations. Now get to work. So what I'm going to do is put together a second one. That other piece of the training is going to be very similar. Basically, it is going to be exactly what you've been watching during this video. It's going to be how to set up files, how to do your sketch, how to do your photos, how to estimate, looking at photographs of the damage. How can you take the damage that you saw on site and transcribe that into line items? Not only that, but how can you accurately transcribe them into line items and build an estimate that's going to have the least amount of supplemental probability? That's what you want. Listen, you get paid extra on the supplements if you go to the next fee tier. Maybe you're working with a claims company and you get a little T&E action on that supplement, but does not always end up like that. Sometimes you're going to be working with a contractor that is $5,000 more than your $32,000 estimate, and the fee tier is $30,000 to $40,000. They don't build T&E. So you got a decision to make. You got to decide whether or not you're going to do this on the elbow, if you're going to just do this for free, or if you're just going to burn the bridge and say, hey, listen, IA firm, I don't work for free, and not do it. You could do that, but they're not going to find much value in you being a part of their company. So you got to kind of work for free there. But the best way to mitigate something like that is to do it right the first time, is write up a fantastic estimate, an estimate that a contractor is going to be happy with. You're not going to please every single contractor, but the more you can, the better you're going to do in the end. You're going to get paid more. They're going to get paid more. Everybody gets paid more. Everybody's happy. And the desk adjuster that you're working with, they're going to be happy too, because they got to deal with less BS on the back end because you wrote up a better estimate. And they know that you're professional, because if you've been paying attention to that estimate that I've been writing this whole time, man, that thing looks sexy. All right. Everything's divided up. It's easy to read. So this is types of stuff that we're going to be going over in our Xactimate Gold Suite edition. So if you go over, you go grab the macro right now, you have lifetime access to the to that portion of the website where you can download that. And as we start buttoning up these videos, start buttoning up these lessons, we're going to start like uploading these things on there, and you're going to have forever access to it. You can always go back, check it out. We're going to have minimum. The goal right now, we don't go for the full blown launch until we've got at least 40 hours worth of training on the scoping and estimating side. Once we have that, that's when we'll really start to do more of a hard launch, and that's when the price is going to start going up, and we're going to be dishing out the the proficiency training. The proficiency training is at a lower importance at this point, because it's listen, if you can master this, the estimating and scoping, the proficiency, fundamental, and all that sort of stuff that gets you ready for that level 3 certification, it's almost meaningless. I never took proficiency training. I never took fundamental training. If you go to Xactware's website where they offer all the stuff to get you ready, I never took any of that. All I did was write estimates and figure out how I can write the best estimate and figure out the repair processes and where the line items are. That's all I figured out. So then when I decided that I just had a couple $100 to spend, and I just wanted to add something to my resume, I had some expendable cash, I went ahead and got Xactimate level 3 certified. I didn't take a course for it. I just took the exam. I was already prepared. I'm writing up estimates all day, every day. So we're going to put that in because it's what America wants. But if you want the real thing, it's going to be this right here. Yeah, man. Sexy estimates. We got to do it. All right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed everything. If you enjoyed watching this, if you watched this thing through the very end, from the beginning to the end, 3 freaking hours. If you did that, send me a message. Let me know you did that, because I want to put you on my short list of people to call on when I got something good happening. So let me know. Do me a favor, and of course, support everything. Share this. Like and subscribe to us on YouTube. We're going to be coming out with more stuff like this, guys. All right, everybody. Thank you so much.